Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We're going to get right into it. Give me just a sec. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you guys for joining us today. We are going to hop right on into the action. And let's get right into it. It's a big day for crypto. It's a very big day for crypto. All right. Again, I just want to thank each and every one of you guys for showing up today and being here. First and foremost, thank you. Thank you for being here. We're going to get right into this right here. It's coming up, guys, in a couple of hours. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive into the charts, and we're going to take a look at the crypto market, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Dogecoin. We're going to take a look at how the market is reacting right now, leading into the FOMC meeting and expected rate cuts. As we all know, there's over a 90% outlook for rate cuts. 25 basis points. Some people saying 50 basis points. So lights, camera, and crypto action. It's going to be a jam-packed day today in the crypto space. And today's stream is going to be one you do not want to miss. We're going to be live before the FOMC meeting, and everything in crypto is holding its breath. You can see it in the charts. So will the Fed drop a rate cut or shock us with another hawkish tone? Let us know what you think in the poll in the chat. Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin, not Doge, but Bitcoin right now still holding strong at $115,000, consolidating around $115,000, $117,000. With bullish sentiment skyrocketing as markets price in that 25 basis point cut with over 90% odds. I tried to load up Polymarket earlier and to see what Polymarket was saying, but I could not get Polymarket to load. I don't know if you guys are having any issues with that, but I could not get the Polymarket website to load up, and it's not me. My connection is good, so I'm not sure. But Bitcoin right now, this right here is what I'm looking at, though. This is the weekly right now, but Bitcoin going into the FOMC, actually on the weekly, yeah, we do kind of look ready to maybe retest this indicator here like we did back here. We do look like that, right? However, if we go to the shorter term time frames, when we go to the shorter term time frame, there is something we could pay attention to for Bitcoin on the hourly. And of course, this is not financial advice. Disclaimers everywhere. Disclaimer right here, scrolling down below. And yes, that is a test donation for $54 because we are still waiting to apply for remonetization. So I'm looking forward to being able to do that. That is coming up. We are halfway to the required watch time hours to get those super chats and those emojis and those channel memberships back. And I cannot wait because that is really going to be exciting for our community and building and growing our community back. So all it takes is consistency from me, though. Got to put it in the work. So this is what I'm looking at though for Bitcoin on the hourly. And yes, we did break out of this potential cup and handle. We did already break out of it, but we got rejected here by previous resistance and previous support. We did get rejected right here at that local high here above 116. We went all the way to 117. And upon that rejection, Bitcoin has actually fell. It looks like is attempting to fall back into the handle of my potential cup and handle pattern. So here is what I'm looking at for this potential cup and handle. And this is exactly why I have this drawn in for Bitcoin as well. Because if Bitcoin invalidates the cup and handle by coming back down into the handle and falling below, say, our, let me just keep this drop down here. I don't have it actually shown, but this is the 200 moving average or 200 EMA. We got the 200 EMA in red right here at about 114,000. And if Bitcoin continues to drop down into the handle of this cup and we don't get above that resistance here, which is 115, the current price level here is going to be our resistance now after we drop below it. So if Bitcoin does not hold this right here, then this is exactly what I would expect. I would expect us to come down and possibly find a little bit of support down in this range of chop right here. We did dip below it there, but I would look at this as being the support around 111,000, 110,000 there, possibly 112. I would look at that for the support versus, you know, us coming all the way down to 106, 107. Obviously, 106, 107 is going to be, you know, that's make or break down there. But I am definitely looking here, and I'm looking to see what happens with the FOMC meeting, right? We've already been pricing the bullish scenario in. It's already being priced in. The bullish case scenario is definitely being priced in. We are already going to the upside. You know, we've just kind of had a stall. We've stalled out here because of the uncertainty with how the market's going to react. And I don't really understand it. I do understand it because it's typical to experience a sell the event, right, scenario upon the FOMC meeting. And even if we do cut rates, is there going to be some type of manipulation going into the meeting where we get some kind of fake pump and dump or fake dump and pump? You know, and so that's why I think we've stalled out here, is because people are thinking exactly like that. We're thinking, you know, regardless of whether or not we get the rate cuts that are already expected, how is the market going to actually, you know, react? And so I think that's why we stalled out, even though, look, we broke out, right? We hit 117. So what we need to do going forward, of course, is pay attention during, directly before, during, and right after the meeting, how the market behaves. And of course, it's going to be extremely volatile. We're going to see extreme volatility. I would say right before, during, and after the meeting, and then of course things will kind of relax after that, right? But going into the FOMC meeting, during the meeting, depending on what is said by Jerome Powell, we will experience some serious volatility. As you guys know, during the meetings, if you ever watch the charts during an FOMC meeting, you absolutely can see in the price movement what is taking place in the meeting. One hawkish statement, and you know, if you're on the 15-minute time frame, boom, 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 you know, and it is fun to watch. It is actually fun to watch. Hello, Banana. Hello, Banana. Thank you for joining the stream, Banana. Life Changer in the chat. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. What is up? Good to see you guys. And I will go ahead and move on here before we dive too deep into the charts, because we are going to be saving some of that for a little bit later on, as right now the price action is pretty stale. But don't forget, guys, if you are joining us now, If you are joining us later in the replay, please show your love and support for the channel and our community here on Average Joe Crypto by smashing that like button. If you are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button, as we are a growing crypto community here on YouTube that is grounded. We aren't new to the space. We had a few moments that kind of lagged us out. I had a lot of technical issues. So any support is greatly appreciated. So thank you guys. Life changer. Do I have any positions right now? Well, my friend, I do. I will talk about it here in just a moment. I do. I sure do. What about you guys? Let me know in the chat. Do you guys have any trades open right now on any altcoins? It's like, what is your game plan right now leading into the FOMC? I really would love to know what your game plan is. Now, before we go back into the charts, before we get too indulged with the price action here, let's first talk about some other things, right? Let's talk about some other things. So, as you guys know, today is the FOMC press conference. We do have the Federal Reserve coming out today with announcements on interest rate cuts. So, the big day that we've all been waiting for, right? We've all been waiting for this day, right? It's like, well, here it is. Here it is. Life Changer says, gonna wait for the market to chill. There will always be a confirmation and mitigation. I love it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you are taking the right approach, my friend. You are taking the right approach. You, my friend, did the right thing. Patience. Oh no. Oh no. Guys, I cannot believe this. My mouse battery just died, bro. Of all the things to happen during such an important day. I mean, it's not, it's not that important, right? But it is, because I cannot stand using the I use a laptop, so I still have the laptop pad, right? But Ty Stu in the building. What's good, man? Good to see you, friend. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. I hope you're doing well. My mouse battery just died, bro. My mouse battery just died. Oh, the agony. Oh, the pain. Leaving the swamp of DC now. No working today. Bro, get out of there. Get out of there. I am going to go see if I have... Okay. This is ridiculous, bro. I can't even get the battery out. I can't get the battery out, bro. I do not want to use the mouse pad on the laptop. Well, bro, I can't even get the battery out. I need something to stick in here. I need something to stick in here, bro, and get the battery out. Oh, help. Send help. Somebody send help. Okay. I will listen, guys. Do not go anywhere. Please do not go anywhere. I am sorry about this, but sometimes things happen. I'll be right back. I'm gonna step away for like two seconds. Okay, maybe 2 minutes, but I will be right back. Here, I'll throw the chart up. I just have to step away, and hopefully I have a AA battery chilling somewhere. Hopefully I've got a AA battery just like hanging out somewhere, bro. I will leave the chart up though. Well, I will leave, yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Dogecoin. What do you think? Doge. Come on, Doge. You know, I was a little worried about Dogecoin there for a bit. I was a little worried that, you know, we were really gonna dump hard. But I'm mad as thanks for hitting that subscribe button, friend. Welcome, and good morning to you. Good morning to everybody, by the way. I'm gonna just, yeah, I don't know, man. Wonder if no, it's definitely dead. It is definitely dead, bro. What is good, Mohammed? Welcome to the stream, bro. Good to see you guys today. I'm having some issues with my mouse over here. Having some issues with the mouse. I'm gonna have to do something about that. Okay, so I was a little concerned about Doge, guys. I was concerned about Doge going into the FOMC because of the way the 4 hour was looking, but FOMC gold, baby. FOMC gold. Yes. Now, Doge though has actually, Dogecoin has actually put itself in a very nice position here on the hourly though. So I had to look at another time frame to see what exactly was going on here. And you know, this is beautiful. Dogecoin leading into the FOMC. Dogecoin squeezing into the tip of this pattern, and honestly, it is a good chance. There is a very good chance Doge breaks to the upside out of this, in my opinion. As always, this is not financial advice, but we're gonna take a look at it. We're gonna speculate. We're gonna see what we think will happen going into this FOMC day, bro. Big price predictions out here. I mean, it's looking juicy across the board here. We just have to make sure that we're looking at everything, right? We don't want to leave anything out. MYX though, yes, green fingers. I seen MYX today. I did. I seen it doing its thing today. I seen that rounded bottom and that nice little pump to the moon. It's back up at its resistance, it looks like. Now, before we get started, I remember the last time we did an FOMC live stream. The last time we did one, I was able to keep the charts up while the meeting was going so we could keep an eye on the price action live during the meeting. I'm going to try to do that again this time as well. What is up, Zunin's channel? Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Hopefully good for the stock market. Well, you know, the rate cuts definitely going to be good for the risk on assets like Bitcoin and crypto and your altcoins. That's right, Ties do. Which is going to be in about an hour and a half, an hour or so, give or take. So the plan is going up to the meeting, focusing on where the support and resistance is at. You know, right now the price action is so stale. You know, other than our little run we had to 117K, price action very stale at the moment. We've dipped down below resistance here, trying to see what's going to happen. Point of control on the 15-minute getting tested here. And again, Doge back on the move to the upside with a nice little bounce here. And again, I was getting worried with Doge down here. But now that I'm looking at it, the more I look at it, I have to say, the more that I look at Doge, the more it looks like we're setting up to go to the upside. I really do. Now, I am going to have to, guys. I'm going to have to find a battery for my mouse, though. I keep wanting to grab my mouse and move my mouse. Guys, thank you for being here. I do appreciate you guys showing up to this stream today. I would say smash that like button for us on the way in. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you, guys. We are just getting the stream started, actually. We have not even gotten into the news yet. And, you know, we're still awaiting the FOMC meeting, of course. But until we get into the meeting, we are going to be talking about some other things going on across the board and then see some perspectives about the FOMC meeting, see what people are looking at going into the meeting. So, again, like I told you guys earlier, I tried to load Polymarket. Of course, you all know what Polymarket is saying. We all know what the buzz is. Everyone is expecting rate cuts. Everyone is expecting 25 basis point cuts. So, live Fed rate cut decision. Bitcoin and crypto market reaction update, September 17th. This is from Crypto News. This is actually, the article itself is actually over on Yahoo Finance. And then Eric Trump on what Fed rate cut means for crypto. I would like to see, get Eric Trump's perspective there on that. Mark Z, good morning podcast series. Good morning. Thank you guys for joining us. And I am sorry about the Nightbot, Mark Z. I am sorry about this. I have still not taken care of Nightbot. I am going to put Nightbot in timeout. Can I do that? Can I put Nightbot in timeout? I sure can. Look, I'm putting Nightbot in timeout for 24 hours, bro. I just timed Nightbot out. Bro, I had to. Nightbot's being rude, man, to my guest here. Mark Z, I appreciate you. Haven Peck, thank you for joining us again. Good to see you. Good morning. I can't believe it's finally here. Green fingers on the money, my friend. On the money. Best way to play these news events is to not play them. Wait till after the move. Patience. Patience is critical. Patience is key. Hopefully, since I timed Nightbot out, we don't have to worry about you guys getting timed out by Nightbot. And let's go ahead. We're going to jump into this. Again, my battery on my mouse died, so I'm having to use the mouse pad on the laptop. Bear with me. It might take me a little bit longer to get, moved around here on the screen, but we will take care of it. Instead of me stepping away to get a battery, I figured, what the hell? We'll just keep the stream rolling, guys. We're just going to keep it rolling, right? So let's go ahead and jump into this. Nothing like some lukewarm coffee, you know? Sometimes it's even better when it's lukewarm because then you can just... I'm still grabbing my mouse, bro. I'm putting this thing over here. I keep grabbing it. It's like a habit, you know? Mouse. No. Mouse pad. Guys, the markets right now, it's okay. We can remain calm. It's okay. It's okay, guys. It's going to be okay as long as you smash the like button. We are going to make it. Wag me all day. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Oh, yeah. Big announcement later in the stream. Got some stuff coming. Oh, and we're almost there. We are almost there, folks. Almost to remonetization. Almost to channel memberships, emojis, and all of that good jazz. I really miss the crew, man. I miss it. So looking forward to spending the rest of this year with you guys, man. I'm looking forward to spending the bear market too. I mean, if we even have a bear market, are we even going to have a bear market? I mean, yes. What goes up must come down, right? What goes up must come down. Bitcoin and Ethereum inflows hit 1-year low as crypto investors brace for Fed decision. BTC eyes $120,000. Really? Really? You don't say. You don't say. Did I just what was I looking at here? Hold on. Oh, is that $120,000? Well, I mean, okay, 126, but still, you know, just to give you some perspective on why Bitcoin is eyeing that price level. You guys have seen this before, right? You guys have seen one of those. You guys have seen one of these before, correct? So Bitcoin eyeing 120K zone if the Fed pumps the markets, right? We are all being just... It feels like we're being played, bro. All this manipulation, you know, almost feels like we're being played. And I will say this, guys, I am not a fan. I am not a fan of BlackRock having such control with Bitcoin and crypto. I am not a fan with... I understand that institutions, the institutional part of the adoption of crypto has to happen, right? I guess it has to. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. But I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan because it just leads to even more manipulation of the crypto market, even more manipulation of Bitcoin, right? But then again, if we are aware of these things, we can ride those waves, right? We can ride those waves. Now, I think we are setting up for one hell of an explosive end of year 2025, and I'm going to show you later in the stream why I think it's possible that Bitcoin and altcoins, especially altcoins, might not even end the bull run in December. And of course that is my opinion, but we can give you a reason for that here in just a minute. I just want to say shout out to all of you guys showing up to the stream right now. We are just now getting started. Thank you guys for joining us this morning. Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. Moving on. BTC and ETH exchange inflows have dropped to a 1-year low. That is indicating reduced selling pressure and investor reluctance to exit their positions ahead of a potential U.S. Federal Reserve rate cut. Meanwhile, stablecoin deposits, particularly USDT, have risen sharply, showing that investors are building dry powder for potential buying opportunities following the Fed's announcement, according to the latest crypto quant market insights. On-chain data reveals that exchange inflows have fallen to a 7-day moving average of 25,000 Bitcoin, the lowest level in over a year, and down substantially from 51,000 Bitcoin in just July. Bitcoin and Ethereum inflows crash 50% as largest holders stop selling. The average BTC deposit per transaction has also halved from 1.14 BTC in mid-July to 0.5 BTC in September, indicating reduced sell pressure from larger holders. Bullish? You be the judge. Let me know in the chat. Ethereum inflows into exchanges mirror this trend of BTC, sitting at a 2-month low with the 7-day average down to 783,000 ETH from 1.8 million ETH on August 15th. Wow. The average ETH deposit size has been similar to Bitcoin's, with decline from 40 to 45 ETH per transaction at previous peaks to just 30 ETH today, reflecting the same low sell side activity observed in Bitcoin. Head of research at CryptoQuant, Julio Moreno, noted that stablecoin net deposits, particularly for USDT, have surged, reaching $379 million on August 31st, the highest level year to date. He describes this rising inflow as growing dry powder that investors are accumulating to deploy into the crypto market, particularly Bitcoin, if the expected 25 basis point rate cut materializes today. Moreno also revealed that the Bitcoin bull score has shifted from bearish to neutral ahead of the Fed meeting. The index has climbed from 20 to 50 over the past 4 days alone. 2 weeks ago, Bitcoin hit a low of around 108,000. Since then, it has recovered to 115K. So, guys, let me know what you think right now in the chat. Do you think that the Fed will cut rates today by 25 basis points, 50 basis points? I've heard chatter all across the board of a 50 basis point rate cut. What do you guys think in the chat? I would love to know your opinions. And don't forget to answer the poll in the chat as well. We've got 81 votes right now on the poll. Will the Fed cut interest rates today? And let's go ahead and just pull that poll up and take a look here what we've got going on. Good morning, and Strega Heart. Welcome, my friend. Good morning, good morning. Oh, my friend Strega Heart here says 0.69 basis points. Let's see what we've got going on in the poll in the chat. As of right now, we've got 87 votes, you guys. Thank you all for joining the live today. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, subscribe and join us today. We would love to have you. Out of these 87 votes right now, will the Fed cut interest rates today? Can you believe that we have 30% saying no? We've got 30% saying no. Oh my goodness. 30% saying no. Now, one key factor in this recovery for Bitcoin is the movement of coins to and from exchanges. And that is a big indication, especially when we have earlier in this, we had mentions of, signs of sell pressure dropping, which is indication that we are holding leading into the FOMC. We are waiting patiently to see how traders and the markets react. Over the past 9 days, has recorded only outflows. This trend appears to be a major catalyst behind Bitcoin's recent bounce from 108K to 116K. The pattern is coming at a crucial time given that the FOMC meeting occurs today. Most analysts, including BitMEX co-founder Arthur Hayes, expects the Fed to cut rates, with prediction markets like Polymarket showing a 91% probability of a rate cut. And the consistent outflows from Binance also reflect investors' early positioning ahead of this event, which is fueling the bull case for Bitcoin to finally break the $120,000 psychological resistance. Can we get a bust a move for BTC out of that 120 resistance, because that is what I'm looking at for that cup and handle on the hourly for Bitcoin. If the cup and handle sustains, we should see BTC rise above $120,000, and the rate cuts from the Fed could be the fuel to push that pump. Here we have an article from Yahoo Finance that does seem to show live updates of the Fed meeting. So this will be crucial to have on board here as we go into the meeting. Now, I do quickly, guys, briefly, I do want to take a look at this. I want us to get an idea of what Eric Trump thinks about what Fed rate cut means for crypto. And I think that this is something of importance, considering, we have the most pro-crypto administration in history, right? I mean, we might even be more pro-crypto in the U.S. now than anywhere else. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. What do you guys think? It's getting pretty wild, I will say. Coming from somebody that's been in crypto since the early days when there was just 4 coins on Coinbase and that's it, right? It's getting pretty wild. It's getting pretty wild. So, again, thank you guys for joining us. We are going to take a look at this right here. Don't go anywhere. More live live price action analysis leading into the live FOMC meeting today.
I had an interesting chat staying on the administration with Eric Trump inside Trump Tower yesterday on all things crypto. And what I didn't appreciate talking to him is, how much the international investor has gotten involved in crypto. And it's one thing to see it on a press release from BlackRock, oh, we're getting into Bitcoin ETFs or whatever it is, but it's another completely different thing to hear from a crypto insider like Eric Trump saying, really, every person I know is trying to buy Bitcoin. You were at a conference too, I believe yesterday on crypto and what, tokenization?
Tokenization, real world assets. Look, tokenization is accelerating. So this means that real world assets are going on chain. Things like gold, bonds, equities. And you started to see this really with stable coins. Now it's moving into equities, and this tokenization trend is accelerating. And part of the reason why you also saw the NASDAQ last week asking the SEC for permission to offer tokenized stocks, tokenized securities on its exchange is because the NASDAQ is seeing that the entire infrastructure, the financial infrastructure, is eventually migrating on chain, on blockchain. So this is what everyone that I spoke to at the conference is seeing, that you are going to eventually see 100% of the financial system moving on chain. So the goal is eventually, for example, to have Tesla shares on chain. That means that they are issued on blockchain. Apple, Amazon. And the benefit of this is that they can be traded more easily. They can be accessed from all over the world. You've got a larger pool of investors that you are able to fractionalize them. There's so many benefits, settlement times, there's so many benefits of having tokenization. It's not going to be overnight, but definitely this is where Wall Street sees things going. And this is why you see the heavyweights being interested in blockchain and going into the tokenization world. And one other point, that private companies are also looking at tokenizing their equities, because this is a way for them to tap money from that sector as well. So they will be able to imagine, you don't have to necessarily list your IPO on the stock exchange or NYSE, on NYSE or the NASDAQ, but you could possibly do an IPO on chain. I mean, it's pretty revolutionary what you're talking about.
No, that's some great context. Kenny, are you a big Bitcoin believer? I think Eric has been out there suggesting that Bitcoin could reach $1 million. Are you on board with a call like that?
I love that, especially like when people say, the Dow's going to hit 50,000. Yeah, at some point it will, right? I am a believer in Bitcoin. I own Bitcoin. It's appropriate for me. It's about 2% of my portfolio. I don't let it get bigger, but I'm also 64. If I were 30,
you're not
maybe
64. Come on, you're not 64, kid.
Right?
You're not 64.
But I like Bitcoin. I like the crypto story. I like having exposure. I have exposure to both Bitcoin and Ethereum. I don't do Solana and Dogecoin and all the others. I stick to where I think the focus is, and the focus I think right now is Bitcoin and Ethereum. So while I'm not sure it's going to $1 million. I mean, it might. I like the idea, and I think that investors should have some exposure. Again, depending on where you are in the life cycle is going to dictate what your exposure is.
We're really excited about what we're doing. I think we're going to grow this company.
Oh man, guys.
Nationwide is more than you think.
Nationwide. Speaking of Nationwide, support Average Joe's Nationwide because the Average Joe is on your side. No? I tried. Anyways, that guy, man, I don't know about that guy at the end there. I'm not sure if obviously the focus, of course, is always Bitcoin. And then, of course, Ethereum coming in number 2, largest cryptocurrency by market cap. Ethereum, of course, is also going to be the focus. But, in cryptocurrency land right now, I don't know about you guys, but in cryptocurrency land, if you go on crypto Twitter, crypto X, we look and we see that what is trending right now. Well, other than blow off top and crypto crash and, when's the next market crash, what is trending right now is altcoins. So the focus right now, shouldn't the focus be more so with the altcoins, right? Going into the end of this year would make sense, especially if you look at things from a timeline perspective. If we go back and we look at the timeline of the previous market cycles and how things played out, I'm sure that you guys have done your own research, of course, and seen those charts yourselves. But if we look at things like that, we can see, that going into October, going into November, I mean, if you wait till November, it might be too late. It might be too late. There might already be 50x gains by then. I'm just saying that's from a personal perspective and personal experience in the crypto market. That's coming from somebody that has already missed out before on gains like that because I was hesitant, because I was skeptical, because I waited. Now, in some cases, waiting is important, like with trading. With trading, waiting can be very important. But in this case, when you're talking about an alt season and you're talking about 50 to 100x gains, 25x gains even is nice, right? At the end of a bull cycle. But when we're talking about gains like this, those gains are going to come. Those gains are going to come. No matter what happens. In my opinion, no matter what happens with the FOMC, those gains from altcoins are bound to come. And we can see that already, right? You can see that already when we take a look at coins like, ETH, XRP, Dogecoin, even, other coins like Chainlink, AVAX, coins that are, still seeing nice momentum here. And especially Dogecoin. I think Doge is, for a meme coin, even though we have talks of Dogecoin ETFs, for a meme coin, Dogecoin, I think, is doing very well. And I see Dogecoin going to $1. And, for a meme coin, that is very good. And I think right now we're just beginning to see altcoins really wake up. Like I mentioned, Dogecoin, XRP. I almost forgot Solana, ADA, and layer 2s trending pretty hard. Meme coin traders circling around the market, searching and hunting for those microcap gems before alt season takes off. And, you know, we have the stablecoin issue. Well, I say issue, more like impact. With USDT Tether's new stablecoin, the USAT or USAT. You know, this is wild because that, you know, in my understanding, that's going to put a lot of money into the market, right? Launching a new Tether, launching a new US-based stablecoin, that is going to put a lot of money into the crypto market. It's almost like the crypto money printer, you know? Now, let me go ahead and move forward here. But stick around because later we're going to be sharing the live chart setups. We're going to be taking a look at the BTC, ETH, and XRP chart, including Dogecoin. And we're going to take a look at something that I've been up to lately that you guys might or might not be interested in. We'll take a look at that later as well. And of course, you know, I will jump into the chat here in a sec, see what you guys are talking about, see what you guys think about the current state of the crypto market and what's going to happen today with the Fed. Again, thank you guys for showing up today and being here. I do greatly, greatly appreciate you all. And I do wish nothing but the best for all of you guys. This world is already full of enough bad. It's already full of enough evil. So, you know, here on Average Joe Crypto, we definitely, I made a post on X earlier today, actually. I said, you know, I try to keep things on point on my channel. I try to be respectful. I try to be grounded and you know, family friendly, because, you know, I wasn't always that way. And, you know, you see it all over the tube. You see it all over the social media. You know, people feed off of that sensationalism. They feed off of that. And here on Average Joe Crypto, I've made a decision, you know, to try my best. Now, I may still clickbait the hell out of you with the thumbnail. Okay? That is every YouTuber. You cannot deny that that's almost all YouTubers, unless you, just like, you know, I don't know, unless you use the same thumbnail all the time. But as far as like the actual content that I bring to this channel, I am going to do my best to make it as premium as possible. Premium and free. Free. All right, guys, moving on. My rant is over. My rant is over. All right, guys, before we move on, I do want to take a look at shorter term time frames as well, especially as we get closer and closer to the FOMC meeting live. I want to be locked in on those shorter term time frames. And I might even be able to have the charts up as well for you guys, so that way we are going to be good. That way we can see both. This is how we're going to do it. Oh yeah, that'll be perfect. So then I will be able to put, I'll put Bitcoin up over there, or I don't know, whatever we want to keep an eye on while we're watching the meeting. But yeah, we will definitely be able to keep our eyes on this. Man, shout out to all of you guys that have showed up for the stream today. I do know that, of course, everybody's anticipating the FOMC meeting and what Jerome Powell is going to say. I do want to just say really quickly, guys, thank you for joining us today and choosing to come into our stream and visit AJC on this big day for crypto. So thank you guys for joining us. If we could, man, if anybody in here feels like smashing the like button for a friend, it's greatly appreciated, y'all. Greatly appreciated. I'm going to get in the chat with you guys while we're hanging out here. You know, you guys in the chat right now, awesome. I see you guys showing out in the chat, and I appreciate it. Brahma, you deserve it. Thank you. Powell is a cool guy. Interview. Steve Sutton, thanks for subscribing and joining us today. Much love, man. Appreciate you. The calm before the storm, Cali W. I agree. We are calm. I said the price action was kind of stale right now. Bollock says sell the news event, you know. Anticipate something like that, but be prepared for either scenario, right? That's why we were looking at that cup and handle for Bitcoin. Hello heck, on here trying to promote his YouTube channel. You know, I'm not gonna hate, bro. I'm not gonna hate on you. Just, you know, keep that kind of stuff to a minimum, you know. I'm not going to hate on you, though, but prefer if you keep it to a minimum. Interview says that they must do the unexpected move to prove the Fed independence. That kind of sparks my curiosity, Interview. Would like to know some more of what you have to say about that. Anyways, guys. I missed a lot of chats. I apologize, you guys. Mark Z said, enjoying the channel, brother. Thank you very much. Strego Heart says, check out my YouTube channel. It ain't got nothing on it. Strego Heart, I'll still subscribe to you, man. Guys, we just went from 17 likes to 30 likes. You guys are killing it. I appreciate y'all. Sigma Speedy says gold, buy or sell. I mean, you know, if you're thinking long term, isn't gold pretty much always a buy? Obviously, buy low, sell high, but I don't really know if you want to sell gold, man. It's like Bitcoin. You know, you don't really want to sell your Bitcoin. Hey, thank you for subscribing. And we got another one, bro. Dream Esports, what's going on? Thanks for subscribing. Jake Lake says, liquidity sweep, then a bullish move. Bro, should I buy before it happens? The question that we all ask ourselves. Reply to me, Chief. How much time left? I replied to you. We are closing in on the FOMC meeting. We are just patiently waiting to see how the crypto market's going to react. What is up, the Money Kitten? The Money Kitten. What is going on? Thanks for subscribing today. The Money Kitten. Prediction of going up or down, bro. I love it. Keep it coming, y'all. I love it. Prediction of going up or down. I got you. Like I said, stick around, guys, because we are going to be diving into the charts. Pump those likes for us, man. Unhinged chat. It's a bit unhinged, but, you know, it kind of reflects me. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a bit unhinged, you know, sometimes. Aren't we all? I mean, nobody has it all put together 24/7, and if they act like they do, they're lying. Callie W, thank you. Callie said, give this bro a like, man. Much love. Strigahart said it's going to do something. Wait. What's going to do something, man? Omnitrix said you are really handsome. Well, I appreciate that. That's not why I'm here. I'm not here to get compliments, but thank you. Thank you very much for that. That's, you know, everybody likes a little boost of confidence every now and then, right? Boost that self-esteem. By the way, you're handsome too. I don't even know what you look like, but all of you guys out there are handsome and beautiful people in the chat right now. Beautiful people, man. Spaghetti. I mean, speak. I don't know what that name was. Thanks for subscribing, though. Thank you. Thank you. Akash says no rate cut. Dump it. You know, where's the poll at right now? We've got 622 votes on the poll in the chat, y'all. Oh my, hold on a minute. Hold on. Here, let's pull this poll over here. Hold on. We have 634 votes on the poll in the chat. Will the Fed cut interest rates today? 76% of you guys have said yes, send it. A very, very minority, a very small amount. The minority in the chat has said no, dump it. Hey, if you're part of the other, make sure and comment your FOMC trading strategy. Guys, thank you for the likes, by the way. Bro, where am I? Hold on. Hold on. Let me, I can't keep up with you guys. What is going on, man? Akash says, shout out my name. I am new to the channel. Love from India. Much love from the US, bro. Akash, thank you for joining us today. Aiden Mendivel, thanks for subscribing, bro. Scram the man, or scram the ram. Scram the Ram says 25 basis point cut unless they surprise us with 50. And a surprise 50 basis point cut rate cut would be, gosh. I mean, is it even possible if we get a 50 basis point rate cut? Is it even possible to get a sell the news event then? Devin Joshi says love from India, love from the US. 420 viewers. Let's go, green fingers. Let's go, my friend. Oh, what about that 420 number, man? That 420 number it gets thrown around a lot in the crypto space. It's weird, you know? NF said they did a 50 basis point cut last September, and we know that the market did pump going into the end of the year, and then of course the market flipped on us, you know, after the end of the year, after the election. But yeah. Selling on the news. QMS said they are selling on the news. Are you selling on the news? What is your plan here going into this FOMC day? I feel like this is probably the biggest FOMC day of the year, right? This is the biggest, most important, most crucial moment. And it's not just for the FOMC, but where we're at in the crypto cycle too. The crypto market cycle is at a very crucial point. Like the next couple of months, you can make some serious money. That is not financial advice. That's my opinion. And I've been in crypto for at least 2 cycles. So, you know, and it depends on how you look at the past few years, really. When you look at the crypto market the past few years, the price action is different compared to, you know, compared to the price action previously when we look at the crypto market like pre-2017. I feel like from 2020 on, the crypto market cycles have been a little bit different. We're going to talk about that and pull up the charts here in just a minute. We have 500 people in the live stream right now. Thank you guys for joining us today. Let's go. What did Callie W say here? Let's send Powell some baby oil if he doesn't cut the rates. I'm going to go ahead and show it. I'm just going to show it. John Dwayne said, "What exchange is feeling now?" Well, I don't know. I don't know. What are you feeling right now, man? Bitcoin to 130K today, Tomer. You know, let me pull up the chart here. I don't know about 130K, but I got some ideas up my sleeve. Excuse me. As we await the FOMC, you guys can see from the price action, Bitcoin is selling off a little bit here on the on the 4 hour, but that is, excuse me, that is not that big of a deal. I will say that, I would love to see us hold the back test of this right here, right upon breaking out of this handle to this cup. I would love to see us hold this breakout right here. If we could hold that breakout, if we could hold that support right there, we would be grand. I think that this cup and handle pattern would be perfect if we could hold here. So honestly, even if we dip and we stay below the resistance for a little bit on the 4 hour, as long as we can get above, as long as we can stay around 115.8, honestly, I'd really like to see us get up and hold support at 116. Holding support at 116,000, Bitcoin is likely to fulfill this cup and handle measured move. I'm looking at this, and this is just the measurement of the cup and handle. It's fairly simple, but I don't know if anybody else has noticed that, Bitcoin seems to be in a cup and handle on the 4 hour time frame. But I have been looking at this. I watched it break out here. We hit 117K resistance. We hit that wall up here, and we're back testing the breakout. And I think that if we hold this back test, Bitcoin is likely to see massive push. James said, "Are you live every day?" I am live every week. Sometimes it's every day. Sometimes it's every other day. And it depends on what's going on with the markets. But that's only because I've been trying to rebuild the momentum here on the channel and with our community. But I do actually plan to go live daily as time goes on. And obviously in the past, I went live daily. So that is the goal moving forward. But in the time being, I don't want to say that right now I will be live every single day, just because I don't want to give any false hope on that. But you can definitely go, check my credentials, bro. You can look at my channel and see that I've been around for a while. We did actually delete all of our previous live streams here on the channel because back when we got demonetized, you can imagine what happened. I won't go into any of that, though. We won't go into our past. The past is the past, bro. The past is the past. And we cannot live in the past. We must trudge forward. We must move on. Now, I'm not sure if you guys know, but the FOMC meeting will be starting, let's see, in about 30 minutes, guys. So I believe that we will have, let's see, in about 30 minutes. And as of right now, Bitcoin is still moving to the downside. We have, Dogecoin is trying to get a bounce here, but as of right now, the meeting is about to begin. So we are just holding off here. We are just patiently waiting for the meeting to start. 27 minutes. Yes, sir. Devinish Joshi, I can see your chat. Yes. What is the impact if there is no change? I would think if there is no change, that would be bearish, even though it's not really, you know, that would be bearish, right? So we do have, let's see. I had to pull this back up. I had it up here earlier. So we got the statement at 1 o'clock or 2 p.m. Eastern time. And then the actual, so we got the FOMC statement at coming up in about less than 30 minutes. And then we had the Powell press conference coming at 30 minutes after that. So at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm just going to say right now, guys, we have 6,000 views right now. We've got 596 people on the live right now, and we've got 55 likes. Could we get this to 100 likes on this stream, guys? I mean, you guys are doing phenomenal. And I seen somebody earlier say, what an unhinged chat. You know what? I love it. I love all of you guys. Thank you for showing up today. I appreciate y'all. Much love to the chat today for showing up and showing out. We are about to see the meeting live. We're going to be analyzing the price live while the meeting is underway. We'll take a look at Bitcoin's price action, Ethereum's price action, Dogecoin, XRP. I will also take some coin suggestions from the chat. So if you guys want me to look at your coins for you, that will be coming later in the stream. I am keeping my eye on Doge right there. Ooh. We just went from 55 likes to 86 likes. We are almost to 100 likes on the stream. Thank you, guys. How many votes do we got on the poll now? We've got 1,132 votes on the poll in the chat. Bro. We've got 1,140 votes on the poll in the chat. Will the Fed cut interest rates today? 70. You know what? The bears are still at 20%, y'all. So drop a rocket emoji if you're bullish. Drop a bear emoji in the chat if you're bearish right now. Bulls versus bears. Who is going to win today? Looks like to me on the poll in the chat, the bulls are winning. I see some rockets. I see some rockets and some bulls in the chat. Let's go. Deadwood, I see you, my friend. Welcome. I missed you earlier probably in the chat. Where is Nightbot? Where is Nightbot back? Let me take care of Nightbot. Let me get Nightbot out of here, bro. Where is Nightbot? Let me get Nightbot out of here. Hold on. I apologize, you guys. I encourage you guys to be active in the chat, and Nightbot is raining on our parade here. So let me just get rid of Nightbot real quick. Nightbot. Okay. So we've got Nightbot here. I'm going to go ahead. Mohammed, thanks for hitting that subscribe button, my friend. Welcome. Welcome. Good morning to you guys. Good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you're viewing from. I appreciate each and every one of you guys that are showing up to the live today. I am going to go ahead and turn the chat moderation from Nightbot. I'm going to get rid of the repetition. Okay, so we are now good in the chat for you guys to wow out. Okay, so if you guys want to, if you guys just want to, obviously be respectful. We're still going to, basic moderation is still going to be intact. Obviously, be respectful. But if you guys are, excited, I love to see the engagement. I love to see how you guys are reacting in the chat. So much love to y'all. Thomas Lee, thank you for hitting that subscribe button, man. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Okay, guys, are we back? Somebody let me know if we are back. Honestly, the stream literally just disconnected. I got a warning message from Streamlabs that said the stream disconnected. So are we back? Somebody let me know if we're back. They are literally trying to take down the stream, bro. What on earth? They don't. Are we back? Are we back? Come on, somebody, anybody, let me know if we are back. Stragahart, you might be right about that. Stragahart said the big timers are going live and YouTube is trying to suppress you. You might be right on there. Greenfinger said, seems like we're back. I wonder, do I need to put on slow mode in the chat maybe? Maybe the servers are getting overloaded because they're not used to AJC going ham like this, bro. Are we back? How is the stream? Are we back? I see some mixed chats. Some saying we're back, some saying no video. I don't know if we're back or not yet, for sure. I think we're back, but... okay, all good. Yes, we are good. Okay, all right. Okay, guys. We back, bro, for sure. Greenfingers, thank you. Earth, water, fire looks good. Video and sound good. We back if you restart vid. Ben, I'm not... Other people are saying that we're good. So you guys can see me and hear me okay. What is this? The stream's current bitrate is higher? Too high? YouTube, quit playing with me, YouTube. I will watch the live, Benjamin. I see you, Benjamin. Scram the Ram had to close the stream and open it back up. So any of you guys, if you are having trouble viewing the live stream, maybe you need to go out and back in. All right, guys, the stream is about to hit 10,000 views, bro. YouTube is probably like, YouTube is trying to shut us down, bro. It's okay. Guys, don't forget to stick around for the price action. We are going to be diving into the charts during the meeting and after the meeting. Steven Antonelli, thanks for hitting that subscribe button. Can I ask you guys one question very quickly? Are you guys able to increase the quality of the live stream right now? You should be able to watch the live in HD. You should be able to watch in 1080p, at least 1080p. Let me know right now if you guys are able to do so, please. And get the spaghetti bowl straight hard. Alex88, thanks for hitting that subscribe button. Welcome on board. Brian OP says 1080p now. Good to go. You guys said yes, yes, yes. Good deal, good deal. Because once we pull up the charts, it's important that we have good quality, right? It does not do any good to pull up a chart and do some analysis on these prices if you guys can't even see what the price levels are. And I didn't know for sure if you guys had it in higher quality or if you guys were just watching in, standard. Sometimes it's automatically put in auto, so. Real Thugs, Ace, what's good? Real Thugs says dump it, bro. Excuse me. I do appreciate y'all. "15 minutes, guys. We have the countdown to the FOMC beginning now. We have 15 minutes left until the live coverage begins, and we will cover that here for you guys live. And at the same time, simultaneously, we are going to be taking a look at Bitcoin price, Dogecoin price, Ethereum price, XRP price. XRP just looks. We might have to talk about XRP real quick. I mean, we still got a few minutes, right? I don't know if you guys are paying attention to XRP or not, or what's going on, but I would say right now, XRP looks so bullish. That setup looks so bullish for XRP. I cannot stress enough how bullish this is, guys. And if we hold this, $4 is almost, you could almost, now nothing in this market, nothing in anything in life, nothing in life is guaranteed except death, right? Nothing in life is guaranteed except death. And that includes in crypto. Nothing is guaranteed in crypto, but I would almost say that if we hold this breakout, $4 for XRP is guaranteed. Shrans, thanks for hitting that subscribe button. And thanks for joining us. Who's going to be the next one to hop on board the AJC train, baby? Listen, $4, like I said, nothing in life is guaranteed but death. But if XRP holds this breakout, we will pump to $4. And likely beyond that, in my opinion. This descending triangle, descending wedge is almost it's not almost, it is textbook perfect setup for a bullish breakout. We've already broken out, so really it's textbook perfect for a bullish continuation because we've already broken out. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I will soak my pants if Powell says 50 basis points. Chat, chill. Owen Nakamoto, thanks for hitting the subscribe button. Who's going to be next? I had to say it. XRP on point. Harry MG Bailey, thanks for subscribing. I am apologizing to you guys if I missed your chats. I'm trying to stay. I'm trying to stay with it. I'm gonna have to come over here and we'll go back and I'll go through some of the chats here in just a sec. We now have 1,000 people viewing the live stream. We've gotten 12,000 views so far, and we've gotten 129 likes. Can we get it to 200 likes, you guys? We have 2,000 votes on the poll in the chat right now, and looks like the bears have not increased a bit, guys. Look at that. That's incredible. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Who is going to join them and be next? Romesh Gupta, thanks for hitting that subscribe button. I cannot believe that the bears have yet to even budge. So out of 2,000 votes, guys, the 20% bears have been at 20% since the last time we checked the poll. So the bears, Vichy, thanks for hitting that subscribe. The bears, it looks like the bears are just out of luck. 76%, 2,100 votes now on the poll in the chat. Bro, you guys are welcome. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you all, man. We're all in this together. You know, we are all in this space. We are all a part of crypto because for a reason. We is my screen? Oh, yeah. We are all like-minded in this space. It doesn't matter what walk of life you're from. It doesn't matter what your other beliefs are, right? And that's one of the great things about cryptocurrency and how it not only we're decentralizing the whole world, but you know, decentralize the people, man. Decentralize the people. You know, Philippe, thank you for hitting that subscribe button. Decentralize the people, because, and what do I mean by decentralize the people? What do I mean by that? Well, think about high school, man. Go back to high school and you think about how centralized high school was. What do I mean by that? I mean, like, the groups, right? The little cliques. Everybody, you know, hating on others for being different, or, you know, not aligning with their clique, because, you know, decentralize the people. We are all different, but we're all the same. Do you agree? Gosh, thank you guys for all the new subscribers. Much love. Much love in the chat today. When we have approximately 10 minutes now before the FOMC live stream begins. So we have approximately 10 minutes, guys, before it starts. K Boulay, thanks for hitting that subscribe button, my friend. Jolly Boy, thanks for hitting that subscribe button. Eel87, thanks for subscribing. Youngstar IQ, thanks for subscribing. Hussein, thanks for subscribing. I appreciate you guys, man. You guys are showing out today. It is live in this chat. I mean, this chat is going a little crazy. Which indicator are you using? Can you please show it? Tiger, chill, bro. We're going to get into the charts, man. Calm down. Calm down, bro. We're closing in now. We got less than 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes, guys. Less than 10 minutes now before the FOMC begins. Prices are pricing it in already. What are you guys talking about in the chat? Tiger, chill, bro. Callie W, thank you. Smash that like button. Stragahart said XRP is for bankers. You know, I kind of agree with you, Stragahart, but at the same time, if I can make some money on it, by all means, I'm probably not gonna, you know, I guess you know, you don't want to support the banks, right? We don't want to support the banks, but it's all going to have to coexist, right? It's all going to have to mesh and coexist. I've said this for like the past few years, right? When we first started talking about institutional mainstream adoption of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, the first thing I said is that you cannot have one or the other. It's going to have to coexist at some point. What's your view on Doge? I will be looking at Dogecoin. I don't know if you know, Joshy, but we do cover Doge a lot here on the channel. Stregohart said, my mistress is called Solana. Brahma said, you're making us emotional, man. Hey, tame the emotions. I am not responsible for your emotional stress, okay? Oh, chill. Relax, bro. Last Josh I knew took my Mandy liquidity. Bro. I know what you're talking about. Oh my gosh, bro. That's crazy. Niku, thank you for hitting that subscribe button, bro. Oh my gosh, bro. We have less than 5 minutes. Or we have exactly 5 minutes. Madani, thank you for hitting that subscribe button. Who's going to be next to join the AJC army today, guys? By the way. Okay, we are about to begin, guys. The FOMC is going to be beginning soon. So, with that being said, guys, I would like to just quickly, briefly here, let you guys know that I actually created a couple of Pump.fun coins, okay? So this one is in honor of my daughter. They got the whole K-pop Demon Hunter theme. It's got all that going for it. Lee-pop Demon Hunter, and then we've got Average Joe, which is AJ token on Pump.fun. Links are in the description if you want to check that out, and follow me on Pump.fun for any kind of crazy wild live streams we might be doing over there. And those links should be in the description, as well as a sign-up link for WEEX. If you are into trading crypto, you want to trade with leverage, first of all, it's extremely risky. Be very careful. Invest only what you're willing to lose, and I am not a financial advisor, so don't take my advice. But I've got a beautiful new user sign-up link for WEEX in the description of this live stream. Using that link will get you some nice perks. You will get lower fees on WEEX and trade with efficiency. I love WEEX. I've been using WEEX for almost a year now. Matali, thanks for hitting that subscribe button. Thank you. Who is going to join him? Thank you to all the new subscribers, guys. We have had like 50 new subscribers already. Bushan, thanks for hitting that subscribe button. Where did my chat go? We are about to begin the FOMC. In just a few minutes, literally in just a few minutes, it is coming. Johnny Samani said, let's buy Average Joe crypto coins. It will for sure moon. Let's go. Thank you for the shout out, bro. Much love to you guys in the chat for showing out today. It has been a wild one. And we have 3,000 votes on the poll in the chat. Will the Fed cut interest rates today? The bears have still not budged, guys. The bears are still at 20%. The bears are still at 20%. We are about to kick off the live FOMC. We will first have the FOMC statement, and then we will have Jerome Powell's press conference coming immediately after that. Arian says the market is going to dump. The baller said longers are going to get wrecked. Correction and brr alt season. Okay, I'm just going to double check. Okay, so I just double checked, and the links are in the description here of the live. So all those links are in the description. If you guys are interested, want to check that out, and follow me over on Pump.fun. All right, guys, we are about to kick off this FOMC. I'm going to go ahead and just make it a little bit easier for you guys to get those links. All right, guys. I hope you guys are ready because it's about to get wild. The volatility is already kicking off, and Doge just dumped hard on us right there. Let's get into it, guys. Thank you guys for showing up to this major day for crypto and the financial markets. We are about to see what is going to take place on the FOMC live here, and at the same time, we will be also taking a look at the price action here and doing some live TA. And here we go. Brace for impact, guys. Brace for impact. The FOMC meeting is beginning now. Here comes Jerome Powell.
My colleagues and I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people. While the unemployment rate remains low, it has edged up. Job gains have slowed, and downside risks to employment have risen. At the same time, inflation has risen recently and remains somewhat elevated. In support of our goals, and in light of the shift in the balance of risks, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to lower our policy interest rate by 0.25 percentage point. We also decided to continue to reduce our securities holdings. I'll have more to say about monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments. Recent indicators suggest that growth of economic activity has moderated. GDP rose at a pace of around 1.5% in the first half of the year, down from 2.5% last year. The moderation in growth largely reflects a slowdown in consumer spending. In contrast, business investment in equipment and intangibles has picked up from last year's pace. Activity in the housing sector remains weak. In our summary of economic projections, the median participant projects GDP to rise 1.6% this year and 1.8% next year, a touch stronger than projected in June. In the labor market, the unemployment rate edged up to 4.3% in August, but remains little changed over the past year at a relatively low level. Payroll job gains have slowed significantly to a pace of just 29,000 per month over the past 3 months. A good part of the slowing likely reflects a decline in the growth of the labor force due to lower immigration and lower labor force participation. Even so, labor demand has softened, and the recent pace of job creation appears to be running below the break-even rate needed to hold the unemployment rate constant. In addition, wage growth has continued to moderate while still outpacing inflation. Overall, the marked slowing in both the supply of and demand for workers is unusual. In this less dynamic and somewhat softer labor market, the downside risks to employment appear to have risen. In our SEP, the median projection for the unemployment rate is 4.5% at the end of this year and edges down thereafter. Inflation has eased significantly from its highs in mid-2022, but remains somewhat elevated relative to our 2% longer-run goal. Estimates based on the Consumer Price Index and other data indicate that total PCE prices rose 2.7% over the 12 months ending in August, and that, excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 2.9%. These readings are higher than earlier in the year as inflation for goods has picked up. In contrast, disinflation appears to be continuing for services. Near-term measures of inflation expectations have moved up on balance over the course of this year on news about tariffs, as reflected in both market and survey-based measures. Beyond the next year or so, however, most measures of longer-term expectations remain consistent with our 2% inflation goal. The median projection in the SEP for total PCE inflation is 3.0% this year and falls to 2.6% in 2026 and to 2.1% in 2027. Our monetary policy actions are guided by our dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. At today's meeting, the committee decided to lower the target range for the federal funds rate by a quarter percentage point to 4 to 4.25%, and to continue reducing the size of our balance sheet. Changes to government policies continue to evolve, and their effects on the economy remain uncertain. Higher tariffs have begun to push up prices in some categories of goods, but their overall effects on economic activity and inflation remain to be seen. A reasonable base case is that the effects on inflation will be relatively short-lived, a one-time shift in the price level. But it is also possible that the inflationary effects could instead be more persistent, and that is a risk to be assessed and managed. Our obligation is to ensure that a one-time increase in the price level does not become an ongoing inflation problem. In the near term, risks to inflation are tilted to the upside and risks to employment to the downside, a challenging situation. When our goals are in tension like this, our framework calls for us to balance both sides of our dual mandate. With downside risks to employment having increased, the balance of risks has shifted. Accordingly, we judged it appropriate at this meeting to take another step toward a more neutral policy stance. With today's decision, we remain well positioned to respond in a timely way to potential economic developments. We will continue to determine the appropriate stance of monetary policy based on the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. In our SEP, FOMC participants wrote down their individual assessments of an appropriate path for the federal funds rate, based on what each participant judges to be the most likely scenario for the economy. The median participant projects that the appropriate level of the federal funds rate will be 3.6% at the end of this year, 3.4% at the end of 2026, and 3.1% at the end of 2027. This path is 1/4 percentage point lower than projected in June. As is always the case, these individual forecasts are subject to uncertainty, and they're not a committee plan or decision. Policy is not on a preset course. The Fed has been assigned two goals for monetary policy: maximum employment and stable prices. We remain committed to supporting maximum employment, bringing inflation sustainably to our 2% goal, and keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Our success in delivering on these goals matters to all Americans. We understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission, and we at the Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you. I look forward to our discussion.
Great. Thank you. Chris Rugaber at Associated Press. As you know, Fed Governor Stephen Miron has continued, kept his position at the White House, even as he's joined the Fed board. This is the first time, I believe, the Fed's board has had someone with executive branch ties in decades. Does this compromise the Fed's independence from day-to-day politics? And relatedly, how can you maintain the public's perception the Fed is politically independent with this dynamic? Thank you.
So we did welcome a new committee member today, as we always do, and the committee remains united in pursuing our dual mandate goals. We're strongly committed to maintaining our independence, and beyond that, I really don't have anything to share.
Okay, and then just as a quick follow-up, I'm sorry, can you, you and other Fed officials have spoken extensively about the impact of tariffs on inflation, although perhaps with many companies appearing to eat the tariffs, tariffs may be impacting the labor market and other parts of the economy instead. Do you see that as a possible outcome here, that tariffs are the reason we're seeing some slowing, particularly in the labor market, rather than in inflation?
It's certainly possible. We're beginning to see, we have begun to see goods prices showing through into higher inflation. And actually, the increase in goods prices accounts for most of the increase in inflation, or perhaps all of the increase in inflation over the course of this year. Those are not very large effects at this point, and we do expect them to continue to build over the course of the rest of the year and into next year. And it's also possible that there may be effects on employment, but that I would say if you're looking at why employment is doing what it's doing, that's much more about the change in immigration. So the supply of workers has obviously come way down. There's very little growth, if any, in the supply of workers. And at the same time, demand for workers has also come down quite sharply, and to the point where we see what I've called a curious balance. It's, typically when we say things are in balance, that sounds good, but in this case, the balance is because both supply and demand have come down quite sharply. Now demand coming down a little more sharply because we now see the unemployment rate edging up.
Nick Timmeros of the Wall Street Journal. Chair Powell, do economic conditions and the balance of risks no longer warrant a restrictive policy setting?
So I don't think we can say that. What we can say is this, that over the course of this year, we've kept our policy at a restrictive level, and people have different views, but a clearly restrictive level, I would say. So, and we were able to do that over the course of this year because the labor market was in very solid condition with strong job creation and all those things. I think if you go back to April and now look at the revised job creation numbers for May, June, July, and August, I can no longer say that. So what that means is that the risks were clearly tilted toward inflation. I would say they're moving toward equality. Maybe they're not quite out of equality. We don't need to
Aaron
know
Greener
that.
in the chat
But
right there, bro.
we do know that they've moved meaningfully toward
I agree.
greater equality, the risks between the two goals, and that suggests that we should be moving in the direction of neutral, and that's what we did today.
Under what circumstances would a larger than 25 basis points rate cut be warranted, and how seriously was that option entertained at your meeting this week?
There wasn't widespread support at all for a 50 basis point cut today. I think we've done very large rate hikes and very large rate cuts in the last 5 years, and you tend to do those at a time when you feel that policy is out of place and needs to move quickly to a new place. That's not at all what I feel certainly now. I feel like our policy has been doing the right thing so far this year. I think we were right to
this is
wait
just a bunch
and
of
see how tariffs and inflation and the labor market
it's
evolve.
the press asking the question.
I think we're now
It's a press
reacting
conference, but
to the much lower level of job creation and other evidence
What
of
is
softening
the
in
market
the
doing?
labor market, and saying, well, those risks are maybe not fully balanced, but moving in the direction of balance now, and so that warrants a change in policy.
Colby Smith with the New York Times. Should we be viewing today's cut as the committee
The New
taking
York
out some
Times.
insurance against the possibility that the labor market is at risk of weakening? Or is it the committee's view that the dynamics of a
Am I
downturn
lagging,
are
bro?
already in place? I guess I'm just
shoot.
trying to square the shift
Yep.
in the rate forecast in the SEP towards more cuts.
I'll
than
tell you what,
just,
dude.
3 months
I
ago.
swear they
with the
be
fact
they
that
be
the
hemming me
forecast for
up
unemployment
over here on
changed.
YouTube, bro.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think you could think of this in a way as
Yep.
a risk
Look,
management
look.
cut, because if you look at the SEP, actually,
They hemming me
the
up.
projections for growth
They
this year
don't
and next
want the
actually
average
ticked up
Joe
just a little
to
bit,
succeed.
and inflation and unemployment didn't really move much. So what's different now? What's
All right,
different
guys.
now is that you see a
Let
very
me-
different picture of the risks to the labor market.
Let's
You've
see.
seen, we were looking at 150,000 jobs a month at the time of the last meeting, and now we see the revisions and we see the new numbers. And I don't want to put too much emphasis on payroll job creation, but it's just one of the things that suggests that the labor market is really cooling off.
Okay, are we
And
back?
That tells you that it's time to take that into account in our policy.
So just looking at the SEP, once again, the median participant has inflation higher than previously expected by the end of next year.
I don't
and
know.
the Fed not getting back to the 2% target until 2028. So I guess I'm just wondering how you characterize the risk to price pressures of kicking off a series of cuts at this point.
Yeah, so.
Extortion,
I would
thank
look at it
you,
this
or
way.
extortion, thank you.
We fully understand and appreciate.
I swear
that
I'd be
we
getting
need
hit.
To
I'd be
remain
getting
fully
hit.
committed to restoring 2%
Streams-
inflation on a sustained basis, and we will do that. At the same time, we've got to weigh the risks to the two goals. And I would say since April, to me, the risks of higher and more persistent inflation have probably become a little less. And that's partly because the labor market has softened, GDP growth has slowed.
I just need Doge to hold support right
I
here.
would just say that the
just
risks
need it to
there have
hold.
been
Come on.
less than one might think. And in terms of the labor market, what
Bitcoin
we're
is
seeing
dumping.
unemployment is still
Dumping
low,
to
still at a relatively low rate, but we're seeing
$114,000.
downside risks.
Michael McKee from Bloomberg Radio and Television. I'm a little confused by your explanation of the Fed cutting rates because of unemployment. If you think that most of what's happening in the employment
Real
area
thug,
is
yeah.
related to
Those
immigration,
20%ers,
which
bro.
your rate cuts wouldn't address. How do you see that as more important than inflation, which has remained almost a full percentage point above your target?
Well, I was saying that what's happening in the labor market has more to do with immigration than it has to do with tariffs. That was the question I was answering. So I wouldn't say that all of what's happening in the labor market is due to tariffs. I mean, you clearly have a slowing in it due to immigration. You clearly have a slowing in demand, which is now perhaps more than that in supply, and we know that because the unemployment rate has ticked up. So, that's what I meant by that.
If I could follow up. Every year since 2015, the SEP has forecast that you would hit your target 2 years later. And this year, this SEP says you're going to hit your target 2 years later. 2% does not seem to be in sight. Does that suggest that the 2% target is not really achievable? And does this present any credibility problems for you in telling people that that's what you're going to do if you can never reach it?
Well, I mean, you're right. It does say we're going to get to 2% inflation in 2028, at the end of 28. But that's literally how you put the projections together. You're writing down a rate path, which is designed to create, over the course of the SEP, time frame, 2% inflation and maximum employment too. So that's all that is. No one really knows where the economy will be in 3 years. But the nature of the exercise is to write down policy that you believe would return to the 2% goal over at least by the end of the exercise.
Thanks so much, Elizabeth Schulze with ABC News. The latest inflation report shows that prices are still going up across key categories for many households, including groceries. What will the Fed do if prices pick up more?
So our expectation, and you can see this consistently through the year, has been that inflation will move up this year, but that basically because of the effects on goods prices from tariffs, but that those will turn out to be a one-time price increase as opposed to creating an inflationary process. That's been our forecast. Pretty much all the individual forecasts say that. We can't just assume that, though, right? We have to. Our job is literally to make sure that is what happens, and we will do that job. Right now, the situation we're in is that we see inflation. We continue to expect it to move up, maybe not as high as we would have expected it to move up a few months ago. The pass-through of the tariffs into inflation has been slower and smaller. The labor market has softened. So the case for there being a persistent inflation outbreak is less. And so that's why we think it's time for us really to acknowledge that the risks to the other mandate have grown and that we should move in the direction of neutral. So what will we do? We'll do what we need to do, but we have two mandates and we try to balance them. For a long time, our framework says that when our two goals are in tension, this is quite an unusual situation. How do we decide what to do? Because our tools can't do two things at once. What we do is we ask which is farther how far is each from the goal and how long is it expected to get to the goal. So, and then we think about those things and we see.
Oh, Bitcoin bouncing.
Our policy had been
bouncing
really
at
$114,724. Now we see that.
Show
that
XRP chart, little bro.
Clearly in the labor market, and so we're moving in the direction of.
Hey, XRP is beautiful,
policy.
bro.
How concerned are you about the slowdown in the job market
XRP
for
is beautiful.
households at home, especially younger Americans
Look at that
struggling
back
to
test.
land a job?
So
Ain't nothing to be concerned about there.
It's an interesting labor market, and
Ain't nothing to be
obviously
concerned about
we
XRP.
think it's appropriate that we reduce our rates so that we become more neutral, which presumably will be
Nothing to
better
be
for the
concerned
labor
about there.
market.
Bitcoin bouncing at
You see,
114,700.
people who are sort of more at the margins, so kids coming out of college,
Dogecoin
and younger people,
squeezing tight.
minorities are having a hard time finding jobs. The overall job finding rate is very, very low. However, the layoff rate is also very low. So you've got a low firing, low hiring environment, and the concern is that if you start to see layoffs, the people who are laid off there won't be a lot of hiring going on. So that could very quickly flow into.
Powell looks like a
into
grandpa,
higher
bro.
unemployment.
He is
In a
grandpa.
Healthier economy, healthier labor market, there would be jobs for those people. But now the hiring rate is very, very low. So that's been a growing
I got you a
concern over the
Cardano
last-
chart too,
last
Lucas.
few months.
We're going to look
And
at
it's
y'all's
one of the
altcoins here in
reasons
just a
why we think
minute.
it's appropriate that we begin
I'm going to take
to-
some coins in
begin
the
to shift
chat.
our
We'll look
policy
at,
focus toward a more balanced one.
Come on
Steve
now.
Leisman, CNBC. Mr. Chair, in the past, during rate cuts, you used the word recalibration. And I wonder if you pointedly did not use it this time. And in fact, when you said policy is not on a preset course, did you mean that as sort of the opposite of recalibration? Are we meeting to meeting, data point by data point? Or are we
Look at
in the
her.
process here
Look at her,
of
bro.
getting back?
Look
to
at her face.
Thank you.
She's like,
So I think we're in a meeting by meeting situation. We're going to be looking at the data. You know what? Let me say a word about the SEP really here. So we often point this out. What the SEP is it's an accumulation of the individual projections of 19 people, showing what they believe at a particular moment in time to be the most likely path for the economy and thus the appropriate path for monetary policy as well. And as you know, we don't debate or try to agree on what that is. We just write them down and accumulate them. We do sometimes discuss them. And so we always say we're not on a preset path, and we really mean that. The actual decisions we make are going to be based on the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks at the time the decisions are actually made. So you will have seen that we have 10 participants out of 19 who wrote down 2 or more cuts for the remainder of the year, and 9 who wrote down fewer than, in fact, in a good number of cases, no more cuts. So rather than looking at this as certainty, I would encourage people, as always, to look at the SEP as through the lens of probability.
Oh, the chaos.
And so there are different possible outcomes.
She had the
and
good stuff.
likelihoods rather than this one is certain and this one isn't happening. So that's what I would say.
what?
Thank you for getting to my follow-up question, which was, is the dispersion in the outlook a sign of uncertainty of policy in the meetings to come? Thank you.
You know, it is such an unusual situation. Ordinarily, when the labor market is weak, inflation is low, and when the labor market is really strong, that's when you
Oh,
have to be careful
B12,
about inflation.
absolutely
So
not.
We have a situation where we have
Down with the
two-sided
World
risk,
Economic Forum.
and that means there's no risk-free path. And so it's quite a difficult.
What do you think of the market is
situation for
now? We are gonna look
policymakers.
at
And
it.
It's not at all surprising to me. that
Brian,
you
this is
have
making my ears bleed.
A range of views. It's not so much about having different views for the path of the economy, but it's partly that. But it's also partly about what's the right thing to do in light of the tension between the two goals. How do you weight them? How worried are you about one versus the other? And so it's natural. I think it would actually be surprising if you didn't have a pretty wide range of views based, in this kind of highly unusual situation, and we do. So, but we get together, we discuss, we have a great discussion, and then we decide what to do and we act. But you're right that it's a wide dispersion of views, and I think that's understandable and natural in the current situation.
Hi, Victoria Guida with Politico. You've talked a lot about Fed independence and the importance of it over the years, but as markets have questions about what exactly President Trump's intentions are with the Fed, what would you point to as the things they should be watching to determine that the Fed is still making decisions based on, the economic outlook rather than political considerations?
Look, it's deeply in our culture to do our work based on the incoming data and never consider anything else. That's just everybody who's at the Fed really feels strongly about that way. So you know, you'll know it by the way we talk about what we're doing, by the speeches that people give, by the decisions that we make. You'll know that we're just still going to do that. That's all we do. And we don't frame these questions at all or see them in terms of political outcomes. I think when you get to another part of Washington, everything is seen through the lens of, does it help or hurt this political party, this politician? You know, that's the framework. And I think people find it hard to believe that that is not at all the way we think about things at the Fed. We're taking a longer perspective. We're trying to, you know, serve the American people as best we can. So I think you would be able to tell. I don't believe we'll ever get to that place. You know, I would say we're doing our work exactly as we always have now, and people they're making their arguments, and we're having really a great discussion around these challenging issues. So,
do you see the court case around Lisa Cook as being related to questions of Fed independence?
You know, I see it as a court case that it would be inappropriate for me to comment on.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Edward Lawrence from Fox Business. So we saw the preliminary benchmark revisions down 911,000. The revisions for June were the first negative revisions we've seen since December of 2020. You know, how can the Fed base important decisions on rate and what to do with the interest rates on data that seems to be, as you've called it in the past, noisy?
So on the QCEW, the revision that we saw was almost exactly what we expected. It was amazing how close the expectation was. So, and the reason for that is, for the last bunch of quarters, there's been
all right,
almost
guys.
a predictable
All right.
overcount. And I think
I think we've all had
Bureau
enough of
Labor
this, right?
Statistics really does understand this, and they're working hard to fix it. It's got to
Give me
do-
just a sec.
Of course, it has something to do with low response rates, but it's also got to do
Looks like
with
nobody knows what he's
death
saying
model.
anyways, so give me
Because
just a
a good
sec.
amount of job
I'll be right
creation
back.
happens
And then we're going
around
to jump into
new-
the charts.
New companies and how many go out of business, how many are founded. And it's just really hard. You can't survey for that. You've got to have a model that predicts that. And it's quite difficult to do, especially when the economy is undergoing big changes. So, and they've been working on that and are making progress on it. But the data we get is still well good enough for us to do our work. To the extent we have issues around data right now, it's about low response rates. That's happened all over really. Response rates are just lower to surveys now, both in and out of the government. And it's no great secret. You know, we want higher response rates, and we need those to have, you know, less volatile data. And the way to get that is to make sure that the agencies that collect the data have sufficient resources to drive higher response rates. It's not a complicated problem, but that's what it takes. It's not a mystery. That's what it takes. The other thing I'll say, Edward, is in the case of the job creation, the response rate is quite low for the first month, or lower for the first month. By the time you get to the second or third month, you're still collecting responses for that last month, for that prior month. And you get to the place where the data are much more reliable by the second and certainly the third month. So it's not that we don't get the data, it's just that we get it a little later.
But for the benchmarks, if that holds, it's 51% of the jobs that we thought were there weren't really there. Shows a weaker job market coming into this year.
All right, I'll be right back,
If
and
you
we're
had
going to hop into the
that
charts, take a
information,
look
would
at
it
some
have
price
changed your
action.
mind related to where the interest rates should be? Should there have been a cut earlier?
You know, we have to live life looking through the windshield rather than the rearview mirror, as you know. And all I can tell you is we see where we are now, and we take appropriate action, and we took that appropriate action today.
Thanks. Howard Schneider with Reuters. So, as you mentioned a minute ago, some margins of the job market would suggest that the slide's already happening. Black unemployment rate in August was above 7%, declining work week, difficulty among college graduates finding work, rising youth unemployment. Why do you think a quarter percentage point now is going to arrest that?
Well, I didn't say that I thought a quarter point would make a huge difference to the economy, but you've got to look at the whole path of rates, right? And the market's has already been baking in expectations. I mean, our market works through expectations, right? So I think our policy path really does matter. And I think it's important that we use our tools to support the labor market when we do see signs like that. I did mention that, you know, you see minority unemployment going up, you see younger people who are more vulnerable economically, more susceptible to economic cycles. That's one of the reasons, in addition to just overall lower payroll job creation that shows you that at the margin, the labor market is weakening. I would also point to labor force participation. Some part of the significant decline in labor force participation over the last year has probably been cyclical in nature rather than just the usual aging process. So we put all those together, and we see that the labor market is softening, and we don't need it to soften anymore, don't want it to. So we use our tools, and it starts with a 25 basis point rate cut, but the market's also pricing in a rate path. I'm not blessing what the market's doing at all. I'm just saying it's not just one action.
As a follow-up to that, the growth mix right now seems very concentrated in investment and on the consumer spending side in the higher income groups. Do you feel that
Oh, sorry. I had the microphone off. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and move on, guys. This is just getting monotonous, and it was already boring to begin with. So let's go ahead and move on to the juice, man. Let's move on to the juice, right? Excuse me. Let's move on to the juice. By the way, guys, if you have not yet, of course, subscribe to the channel, but also, guys, if you could please follow me on X. We've been trying to grow on X, and it's difficult to grow on X, really. But definitely come over here, follow me on X. Link is in the description. Now let's get on to the juice of the day, right? U.S. Fed cuts rates by 25 basis points. First change in 2025 opens door to easing cycle. This should be bullish, right? Should be bullish. Well, what exactly is going on? What is going on with the market right now? Bro, that's a beautiful screenshot right there. Let's take a look at it. Again, my mouse battery went dead on me, so I'm having to use the mouse pad on the laptop right now. Bear with me because I'm not used to that, so it's a little bit, I don't really like doing that. But real quickly, guys, we're going to jump into the charts. Drop your coins in the chat if you want me to take a look at them, and I will do so. I appreciate you guys. We got Pingu, Ada, Solana. Okay. All right, let's get rolling. Bitcoin right now. Before we jump into the alts, just a quick look at Bitcoin, right? Quick look at Bitcoin's reaction to the FOMC, to Jerome Powell here. Right now let's go ahead and zoom in. Again, bear with me. I'm using a mouse pad on the laptop. I'm not used to this, so bear with me. Okay, so Bitcoin did drop, right? But again, I mentioned the $114,000 support. Remember, 114,700 is what I mentioned earlier, guys. Is the support that I would want to see Bitcoin hold right here. We got a nice bounce off of that. We're already back at $115,400. If Bitcoin, this is the 4-hour. If Bitcoin holds this support and gets above this downtrend right here, which would be 116,000. We need to see 116,000. Shri, thank you for subscribing. Then I think we are good for this measure move target to be in play. Now, another good indicator here that we are trying to, that we will likely be seeing more upside soon is the MACD on the hourly. The MACD on the hourly is down here in buying territory. We're starting to go below the bars, the red bars here, and you can see it's starting to flip. That's a good indication that the price could go up. Now, we might chop a little. We've already seen the volatility, especially with Doge. You look at Doge on the 15-minute, and you can really see the volatility. Well, let's go even lower. Let's go on down to the 5-minute, and here is that volatility, right? Here is that volatility. Look at those candles for Doge. Now, again, on the 5-minute, MACD on the 5-minute looks good. Even with this massive volatility, look at that dump and pump, massive volatility. Even with that, we're above the LSMA right here, coming up on this resistance right here at 26.65 here. We broke that bull trap there before the FOMC, and that was that fake pump, right? That's that fake pump that you've heard people talk about. Okay, Dogecoin still, honestly, I am looking at Doge with, optimism right now. I am looking at Doge with optimism. Look at that. And, Dogecoin is still considered a meme coin, right? But I'm going to tell you right now that out of the altcoins out there and meme coins, I have made really, really decent. I've done really, really decent trading Doge. The price movement for Doge, I don't know if it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I just got a knack for Doge. But Dogecoin really been performing well. Let's go on. Let's see. Doge 26, pushing and holding there, 26. We are breaking out of the pattern now. We are getting the pump. We are getting the Powell pump. We are getting the FOMC rate cut pump. We are coming up on resistance, and Doge is breaking out of this downtrend. It already did this before with the fake pumps, but if these pumps can hold support, Doge, hold up here. Close in the next hour. This is a new hourly candle, but let's close here. Let's close somewhere above this downtrend. That would be the confirmation I would need, honestly, to expect us to run up to this POC here at 27.7. XRP, ADA, what was the other one? Solana. See, Farhad, thank you. Farhad says C. Doge Lincoln said, all I know is there is a new moon this weekend, so it's got a few days to pump before a new moon dump. I like that. I like the idea of that. Let's see. Let's look at XRP. XRP, honestly, look at XRP on the daily. It's beautiful, bro. It's beautiful. It's just so beautiful. Let's look at the short term here. And again, the volatility, you can see the volatility. You can see how the markets jumped during the FOMC and leading right up to the FOMC. You can see here how this took place. And look at what we're doing now. We're already getting a massive rebound. Look at that. So XRP's low right now is $2.98. We dipped slightly below $3 for just a second, and then immediately jumped back up here. Testing the POC on the short term on the 15-minute currently. XRP looking to hold this breakout on the daily. Bouncing off of the back test of the breakout. I mean, it's honestly, XRP is going to go to $4, bro. Mark my words. XRP will go to $4. Possibly higher, but XRP to $4. Doge Lincoln said, I'm a moon boy. Been pumping since the last full moon. Moon boy, literally. I like it. Aaron Williams, welcome to the stream. Render, Render. Sure. And then I thought I seen H-bar. Did I not see H-bar? Sent Maxi, what's going on, bro? Good to see you. Ty Stu in the building. Guys, yes, this has been probably the best stream this channel has ever experienced, guys. It is. The best stream this channel has ever experienced. We have 326 likes, 500 people viewing right now, and the stream has had 43,000 views. Thank you all. Thank you all very much. I really, really, really cannot explain to you how much I appreciate it. Words cannot explain how much I appreciate y'all's support here on the channel. And I hope that you guys come back. A lot of you guys came for the FOMC meeting. I hope that you guys, enjoyed the stream, and I hope to see you guys in our next upcoming streams as well. I'm going to go ahead and close our poll in the chat. Do you understand what Powell just said? 67% out of 500 votes say no. We don't know what Powell is saying. We don't know what Powell is saying. That's why I created a channel for the average Joe, man, because the average Joe for the longest time has been excluded from opportunities in financial markets, right? Trading, Wall Street, stock market. It has never really been for the average person, right? Crypto was for the average person. Even though it was complex and complicated, it appealed to the average person that didn't really understand the stock market. You know, a person that doesn't understand stocks can understand meme coins. The average person can understand meme coins, right? Would you agree? So, you know, I definitely... Noise Sound Destructor said, came for the FOMC, stayed for the vibes. I appreciate you. Yes, that's the energy I like to see. Thank you. Ty Stu said, I probably will come back. Ty Stu, I know you'll come back, bro. I appreciate you. Ty Stu, I'm going to make you a mod. You've been here for a long time. I'm going to make you a mod because you've been right here along with Greenfinger, Stragerheart. You have been very supportive of the channel, my friend. So Ty Stu, welcome to mod status. I appreciate you guys. Mike said, I've never made money easier as an average Joe crypto bro. And that is why we are here. That is why Average Joe Crypto exists. That is why this channel even came to be. Because I myself was just like you and still am just like you. Except maybe some of you, you know, I am still trying to follow my dreams. Now, don't get me wrong. Every day is a struggle. It does not get easier. In fact, the more progress you're making, the harder it's going to get. It's time to get uncomfortable. If you've been in your comfort zone, get out. Get out. Should you buy gold at all-time highs? I don't know. I don't know. That I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you one way or the other. I don't know. Should you ever buy anything at all-time highs? Now, long-term, gold is always a buy. Bitcoin's always a buy. You could have bought Bitcoin at 20K top. You could have bought Bitcoin at 69K top. You could have bought Bitcoin at all-time highs any time in history and still been up right now. Same with gold. So should you buy anything at all-time highs? Probably not. But if you were going to buy anything at all at all-time highs, it would definitely, I would say Bitcoin and gold. Bitcoin and gold. Doge is blasting on the hourly. Look at this hourly candle. Doge is blasting. Exortion, thank you for hitting that subscribe button, my friend. Welcome on board the AJC train, baby. All of the new subscribers, I have just been blown away today by the support, the overflowing support from the chat today. Doge Lincoln said, buy gold now, hold the dip for 32 years. Yeah, I was going to say, you know, Bitcoin matures. I would say Bitcoin probably matures a little bit quicker. Bitcoin definitely matures a little bit quicker. That's another reason crypto is for the average person, right? The average person does not have time to wait. We do not have time to wait, although patience is key. We just don't want to wait for 10 years, right? 4-year cycle is much better. 4 years is great. Let's see. Somebody said gold. Somebody said BNB. Okay, let's take a look at the heat map real quick. Mixed signals on the heat map. Mixed signals, but you know, a mix is good. A mix is good. That means we are shifting, but not too hard here. Bitcoin just 0.7%. Where's the dump? Where is the dump? Where is the dump? Solana 360. Noise Sound Destructor. Thanks for hitting that subscribe button. Solana $360 target in sight as Galaxy Digital's $486 million bet sparks institutional FOMO. Are we FOMOing into Solana institutionals, guys? Oh, how many of you guys were buying Solana pre $100? Again, crypto has transformed wealth for the average person. Crypto has transformed being able to accumulate wealth for the average Joe. And that is why we are here. That's why I created this channel, to share this with the masses, that you do not have to be a crypto guru. You do not have to be a trading expert to make money in this place. But what you do have to be is disciplined and patient. Those are the two things you absolutely must be: disciplined and patient. And if you are not those two things, the crypto market will absolutely help you achieve those. Drama Express, which site is this? You know, that's a very good question. I don't see many people use this in live streams. Exactly, Ben. I appreciate you being here. I hope to see you guys in the next one, too. This is actually TradingView's news flow. And so if you pay for TradingView, you get Newsflow Beta. Newsflow Beta updates by the minute with the top trending crypto news stories. So you will never miss a beat with this. Or you can just come on our lives and we check the news flow out at almost every live stream. So it's great. I mean, you want to get you know, crypto news, you want to get ETF news, stock market news, forex news, you know, futures, options, government bonds, economy news, all of it right here on one page. All right, guys, I have been live for almost 3 hours. I am going to have to bounce out of here. I do apologize. If you guys want to check out some more of my videos, please go to the channel, subscribe, check out the videos, and of course, turn on the notification bell and check Discord for, check the link in the description for the Discord link, because you will also get notified in Discord when I go live. If for some reason you don't get notified, by YouTube itself. Sometimes YouTube doesn't like to send out those notifications. So, again, much love to you guys. Much love to you guys and all of the previous viewers of the stream. We have had, again, a massive stream today. 43,000 views. Heatmap is also part of TradingView. Thank you guys. And again, I've been live for 3 hours, so I have to get off here. I have other things to do, but I will be live again. Let's see, tomorrow is... Yes, I will be live tomorrow because Dogecoin ETF supposed to launch tomorrow. You know, we had delay after delay with the Dogecoin ETF launch, but it's supposed to launch tomorrow. I should be live sometime tomorrow around the same time, guys. Again, I appreciate y'all. I was right in front of the views, but yes, 43,400 views today. The average Joe is making a stand. They cannot hold us down forever. They will not hold us down forever. Love you guys, man. Thank you all so much for your love and support today. Will I see you in the next one? Peace.